Follow the last clue down where the light never reached. Every stray detail, every voice nobody believed. We keep the tide rolling for the ones they walk past. Follow the last clue till the truth looks bright.
The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about a case or cases, please email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com. Listener discretion is advised. Some content may be upsetting to listeners.
A young mother terrified of the man she once loved. A restraining order that came too late. A fire that tore through a Tulsa home. And a confession that left investigators stunned.
Tonight, we're telling the story of a man who walked out of prison on parole and within 2 years committed one of the most brutal crimes in Oklahoma history.
This is the case of Raymond Eugene Johnson, a convicted killer whose violence escalated from a 1995 shooting to the murder of his ex-girlfriend and her infant daughter.
This is The Last Clue. Before we get started, we want to welcome our new listeners and subscribers from Ashburn, Virginia, Dallas, Natchez, Mississippi, and St. Albert, Alberta.
Wherever you're listening from, thank you for being a part of this community.
Did you know you can follow The Last Clue wherever you get your podcasts?
I did not know that.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's including Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, iHeart, hey, Podbean, Podcaster, so many more.
And for exclusive content, subscribe on Buzzsprout.
Late night, headphones on, door locked, static fade.
To understand the 2007 murders, we have to go back more than a decade to September 11th, 1995, where 21-year-old Raymond Eugene Johnson was in Oklahoma City with a man named Clarence Ray Oliver. The two got into an argument, the kind of argument that starts small but escalates fast.
According to investigators, Johnson pulled out a gun and threatened to shoot Oliver. Oliver tried to escape. He got into his car and attempted to drive away, but Johnson fired through the passenger side window. Oliver's car crashed into a ditch where it was found the next day.
And 2 weeks later, Johnson was arrested. He eventually pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and he received a 20-year sentence. But he didn't serve 20 years.
He was paroled in 2005.
Oh, that...
After serving roughly half, 50% of his sentence. And that's when he moved to Tulsa, and that's when he met Brooke Whitaker.
Thank you, because that math was not mathing. I can't believe that. But Brooke was a young mother of 4. Friends described her as warm and funny and fiercely protective of her kids.
But her relationship with Johnson deteriorated quickly. He became physically abusive. He stalked her. Oh, God. He threatened to kill her more than 10 times, according to court records and witness statements.
Unbelievable. And it was in April of 2007 that Brooke filed a restraining order and had told her mother she was terrified.
But that order was dropped the next month when neither she nor Johnson appeared at the hearing. And that decision would have devastating consequences.
In the weeks before the attack, Johnson was juggling 2 relationships. He was with Brooke, and he was with another woman named Jennifer Walton, who was allegedly pregnant with his child.
He was living with Brooke at the time, but also staying with friends connected to Jennifer. He was unstable, he was angry, and he was increasingly paranoid.
Not a good mix. And it was on June 22nd of 2007 that Johnson asked Jennifer, the side one, for a ride. Jennifer picked him up around 10:30 p.m. They drove past Brooke's workplace to make sure she was there.
That's not creepy at all.
Not at all. And then past her house to make sure no one else was home. So she can't be in two places at once.
Jennifer dropped him off near Brooke's house. He said he was going to get his clothes.
Okay.
But he didn't leave.
Around 1 a.m., Johnson called Jennifer again. He said he was at Denny's waiting for Brooke to get home.
Now, by 5 a.m., he called again, this time saying a friend would bring him home. But by 10 a.m., that story changed.
Again, he told Jennifer that Brooke was dead. He said a friend had shot her. You don't need friends like that. And then he said that same friend was thinking about burning down the house.
So Jennifer drove to pick him up. When he got into the car, she noticed that he smelled like gasoline.
Red flag.
That he had blood on his clothes.
Red flag.
And he was carrying 2 garbage bags.
Red flag.
I mean, if you've ever eaten at Denny's.
Well, this is true. And I understand he was going to pick up his clothes, but come on.
They drove away. She saw flames pouring out of Brooke's front window.
That's more than a red flag. And firefighters arrived at 11:11 a.m. And we've probably got some numerology people out there that are going to dissect that a little bit. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. But inside was pitch black with smoke. They found 7-month-old Kaya near the living room. Nope. She had died from the thermal injuries from the heat and the flames inside the home.
Brooke was found partially under a bunk bed, severely burned, unconscious, and barely alive. She was rushed to Hillcrest Medical Center but died shortly after arrival.
So her cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head and smoke inhalation. There's a little bit more to this.
Because she was gasping to breathe, I'm sure.
Yes. So from what I understand, it took them a minute to find the blunt force trauma while she was in the ambulance because she was burned. This is just... Ugh.
Johnson was arrested that evening in Coweta. He waived his Miranda rights and confessed. He told detectives that Brooke pushed him, that she grabbed a knife, that he hit her with a hammer.
Claw hammer.
That'll come up here in a minute. She begged him to call 911, and he refused. He doused her and the house in gasoline, lit the fire, that he was, quote, trying to kill her, end quote.
He also admitted he poured gasoline in the room where baby Kaya was sleeping. Let that sink in.
Just wait, folks. This gets...
his child, a 7-month-old child.
This gets more disturbing, folks.
With a mother begging for her life.
Police recovered the hammer, bloody clothing, Brooke's wallet, gasoline-soaked debris. There were blood smears throughout the house. Brooke's phone, which was used to call Jennifer.
Oh, my God.
And Johnson's clothes in a dumpster.
Had to be by Denny's. The evidence, as we can see, is overwhelming.
So jury selection in this case started in June of 2009. Prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty. And the collective world said, no shit.
No kidding. Because as she was conscious and screaming to have him call 911, she said, "It feels like my head is going to fall off." This woman pleaded for her life and fought. But jury selection began in June 2009, 2 years later. Prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty. The jury found him guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to death for Brooke's murder, death for Kaya's murder, and life imprisonment for arson.
He offered no statement after the verdict was handed down, and Brooke's family welcomed the decision.
Then a quiet clock, name on on a page, filed and forgot someone's whole life, trapped in a footnote.
After his conviction, Johnson filed multiple appeals, and all were denied.
His final appeal reached the U.S. Supreme Court in 2019. They declined to hear the case. That cleared the way for an execution date.
On July 1st of 2022, Oklahoma scheduled execution dates for 25 inmates, including Johnson. His initial date was May 2nd of 2024.
But the state's attorney general requested more time between executions, and Johnson's date was postponed.
Now, in February 2026, a new motion was filed requesting a second execution date.
And the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals granted it.
Woo!
Johnson's execution was set for May 14th, 2026.
On April 8th of 2026, Johnson appeared before the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board. He apologized. He asked for forgiveness.
I would imagine he would apologize.
And asked for forgiveness. But you know the old saying, too little, too late.
But the board voted unanimously to deny clemency.
My second, woohoo! On May 14th of 2026, at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister, Johnson was executed by lethal injection. He was pronounced dead at 10:12 a.m.
His last meal, if anybody cares,
Don't.
was chicken, a pint of gizzards, and fried pickles with hot sauce and ranch, which is more than what those two young ladies ever got.
His final statement, he apologized to the victim's family, and he hoped people could, quote, speak their names without his name being attached to it, end quote.
Late night, headphones on, door locked, static fade.
And now for our opinion segment, Clueless.
This is the part of the show where we talk about what we think. Not as lawyers. We're not lawyers.
We're not.
But as people trying to understand something horrific.
Now, for me, the escalation is what stands out. There was a manslaughter conviction in 1995, and he was paroled in 2005. And by 2007, he committed one of the most brutal crimes we've ever covered.
And Brooke did everything she could. She filed a restraining order. She told people she was scared. She tried to protect her kids.
But the system failed her. People failed her. Everyone failed her. And it failed Kaya.
The brutality of this case, the hammer,
Claw.
the fire, the baby, it's almost beyond comprehension.
And the fact that he admitted it, that he described it in detail. It removes any doubt about what happened.
People want to debate the death penalty. Look at this case. In this case, the facts are overwhelming. Whether he begged for forgiveness or begged for his life, it is overwhelming.
2 lives were taken. An entire family was destroyed. And an entire community was left grieving.
The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information regarding a case, please email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com. You can follow The Last Clue wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and many more.
And for exclusive content, subscribe on Buzzsprout for just $5 a month or find us on Buy Me a Coffee.
And as always, keep searching for The Last Clue.
Follow the